Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. And we are continuing our making our sweater. We're actually going to finish that today. So we are making the St. Patrick's Day vest sweater. I wanted to show you guys how to work in these ends. I think that if I would have had this all to do over again, I would have used a J-hook to do the mesh. The mesh is very thin, and when I'm using some thin yarns as well. So, but when you do this, you put this on a needle, you need to make sure that you put it in the color, in the same color. And you want to go in, 2 or 3 times. We want to make sure that those ends do not come out. I also tied a knot. I tied these two together up here. So I'm just working this through 2 or 3 times, and because you can see it on the other side, you can't because it's the same color. That's the reason why that we make sure that you're doing it in the same color. Okay, so we've got one more here. And I usually try to, if I can get this outer color to go up to the border, then I use the border here. I just feel that it will stay better if you use the border, because this green yarn is very, very thin. And I was really having a hard time going through that mesh. Going through this. So, put it through the border a couple times, 2 or 3 times. It doesn't hurt. Alright, so now we are going to put our square together. And I have decided that I got rid of this last row. So I'm actually doing 4 by 4. And so I would need, to do front and back both, I would need 8 shamrock squares and 8 4-leaf clover squares and 16 granny squares. So to do this front, I actually need 4, 4, and 8 to do the front of it. And let me see, I'm going to have to bring you guys out so we could see the whole table. Alright, so I started out with a shamrock square, and I don't know if you could see me. Alright, and then a granny square, and then, so it's a shamrock, granny, 4-leaf clover. And then the next row, I'm starting out with a granny, and then a shamrock, and another granny, and a 4-leaf clover at the end. Alright. So then we start out with a 4-leaf clover, a granny, a shamrock, and a granny. And then I'm starting with a granny again, a shamrock, a granny, and a 4-leaf clover. And that's how I'm putting it together. Now, that's how I'm like, let me take you kind of off of here a minute. This is how I've got it set up, okay? And I'm going to teach you how to put these squares together so that you could see that. All right. All right, now there we go. Plug it back in. Put it back in the holder. All right. So now we're going to sew them together, and I'm just going to kind of I'm going to put these on top of each other and make them, and put them in 4 different piles. Alright, so I have 4 different piles, okay? And this is the first, second, third, and fourth. And I'm going to put this one up here, and we're going to start with the first one. Alright. And I'm going to focus you back in. There we go. Alright. Alright. I have got my yarn, the same color yarn that I put the border on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these squares together, back sides facing each other. So they're back sides facing each other. And I've got my slip knot. Actually, I want that yarn a little bit longer for sewing in. I like long pieces of yarn to sew in. Alright, so much easier. So I'm going to start here on the third one, the middle one, in the back loop of it, and the front loop of the middle one on the other one. Okay, so we're in the front loop, the back loop of the one in front, and the front loop of the one in back. And I'm just going to see if I can sew in this end a little bit as I'm going. We're going to single crochet these together. Okay, so the next set, we're going in the back loop of the front and the front loop of the back one, and then we're going to single crochet them together. The front loop of the front one and the back loop of the front and the front loop of the back. And we're just going to continue sewing these together like that all the way down. I'm actually crocheting them together. I guess we're not sewing, are we? We're crocheting. All right. Now I'm going to weave that in the rest of the way, but I'm going to put it in the middle. So it'll be toward the back. All right, here we go. So we just go all the way down. Sewing our squares together. And we're going to finish off in the middle, right there, just like that. And then you're going to chain one, and we're going to cut this off. We're going to cut these off long because we have to sew these ends in. It's a lot easier to sew them in if they're longer than they are short. So now we've got a cute little ridge right here. That's what causes, that's going to be a ridge on the front. So we've got this framed, and then we're got a little ridge in between. All right, so the next two you're going to put together from back sides together. Okay, and we're going to get our yarn ready again, slip knot. And now we're going to sew these together. So we start at the middle one, and with the back loop of the front side and the front loop of the back side of the back one. Yeah, the one in the middle. Start at the one in the middle of that. Those three in the corner. All right, so, and then we're just going to crochet down. All the way down to the other side. go. See the nice ridge. All right, the last one, the last two. Put the last two together. There we go. I really love putting, you know, squares together, and it's starting to look like what I'm trying to make. Putting it together is my favorite part of it, I think. Because I know it won't be long until you can see the whole product all done. But yes, there is a lot of work into this. I had to do a lot of crocheting Friday night and Saturday. Today is Sunday. I crocheted for 12 hours yesterday to get my squares finished so I could do this video for you. I got so caught up into making my spring blouse, then finishing that up, that I forgot that I needed to keep up with these squares. But we'll make it. This is just a lesson learned. All right, so there is the end of that, and let me bring you out so you can see the whole thing. All right, so there it is. There is my whole strip. How we're going to do this. Okay, so now I have 3 more strips to do, and I'm going to do them off camera. So I will come back to you to show you how to put the strips together on our second part of this, putting our panels together. So I will see you then. Bye-bye.